into the race. We've got a race coming right now.
I believe this one's Jakazam. And
It is Jack
I'm gonna need a pronunciation check.
Adresadini.
It's phonetic, isn't it?
Yeah, that's how we've always said it.
Jakazam is from my little time here in this community, always been at least recently a seeded player, but like the lowest seed. Like she was given the 16th seed when there were 16 seeded players.
Yeah, she's
in
generally
game
good.
two.
This year I just did seeds based on their positions in the last year's tournament.
And
I
again,
think Jakazam was still seeded.
Finished 17th or similar to like a similar result to what they did in MT13.
Yeah.
So it was again. It doesn't say seeded, but I do believe Jakazam does have again like a seeded setup. Just one of those like really solid players that could sniff top 8 if given the right games and the right opponents, the right fortune. Adresadini, I don't know much, but we do know one thing about them. They did win the Gears Don't Grind platformer.
Yeah, it was like a puzzle platformer.
Yeah. I'm gonna say it was gray and from like the Flash era, but not Flash if my memory stands. A platformer
Yeah, it's
winning
like it was older Game Jolt.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Game Jolt. There's a good label for the exact
Yeah.
sort of genre I think it was. That's a good. If you're gonna come in and win one game and like prove yourself, that's a genre to win a game in. Is Game Jolt platformer. It's up there with NES mediocre platformer and puzzle platformer from 2015 that came out just before Celeste, so they didn't know how to make a good game. For ways to prove that you might be on an incoming streak.
And we've got a game too coming up.
GFM, are you the moderator for this one too?
Yes.
Good stuff.
And this is one that I played. This is a backup, but I did play this one. This was in a top 8 sometime. I don't know when, but at some point it was in top 8. If I remember correctly.
I'll spoil one thing. This game has an exclamation mark, so you know it's good.
Oh, does the actual title have an exclamation mark?
I hope so. Anytime I see punctuation as part of a game title, it gets me excited. Oh, we get the Maurice racing along, which is always a scary thing for a racer, because if you don't beat Maurice, and that in itself is a challenge, you'll see a dot done when you don't know how long the game is going to continue.
I'm thinking that this game, having played it, is not between two good players. Isn't going to have a massive variance in times.
Interesting.
I'm fighting with GFM. I think we're both cropping the same stream at the same time.
You were on player. Yeah, you were on player too.
It's alright, GFM, you can take Jakazam's scream, you can crop it. Well, no, you have to tell me when then, because I want to switch over. Just watch you do it.
You can ask me. We don't have a game still on Jack's side.
Okay. Yeah, this is an older freeware game, so I had no trouble running it. Any older freeware games in the backup pool, I at least ran. This one I did play the whole goal, but I at least ran them, so I made sure that, like, I don't know. Sometimes games just don't work anymore.
Did you remake the paste bin?
For a lot of them, I did. This one I did. It depends on the situation. Sometimes you'll find a game, and the race comments will say, "Pig spin lies." You're like, well, definitely gonna have to fix that then. The SRL comments are useful. Yeah, we're at the point where we have a whole lot more submitted games in the pool than we do backup games at this point.
Yeah, I think backup got drawn a lot in the first. Like, I know you guys were still testing during tournament time.
It started out half and half, and then since then we've only added submitted games. Yeah. So it's been.
It felt like backup was, despite the fact that you guys were still actively testing and working on stuff. I think it was still getting more than its fair share of. I don't think it was half and half on day one.
Yeah, I don't know. The way we do the RNG is actually in Google Sheets. It has built-in RNG, and so I don't know the the specifics of how that works. I've always felt like it's a little weird because sometimes I'll like get a game, and then we have to redraw it, and then for the next race I'll get the same game. And I feel like that's weird.
Had this problem come up in other games or other races where I look at the paste bin and I just get bored. There's like nothing that's jumping out to me as like particularly interesting or like important information.
That's a good thing.
And
that means the game is player focused.
If I erase this, I would just forget something and then just find out that it was bad. There is one thing I think will be mentioned, but it might give the game away.
Yeah.
So the big thing about this game is that there's the multiple weapon colors.
Mm-hmm.
Very important. Because there is a weakness system.
You were saying, GFM?
The same thing about the one line that seems important than I just said about the colored weapons.
Yeah.
I'm also a fool who thinks that the most important things are going to be nearer the top. Which, sorry FFAO for having this foolish opinion about paste bins.
Yeah, generally you want at least the goal and the dot done and the ready to be up at the top so people can know like when it is that they need to be finished and what it is that they're trying to do.
I won't talk about it. That game got cancelled, but always right, never left. Are we ready to rumble? No.
Not yet.
There's an email address in the README that you can send questions to. They're trying to figure out how to not full screen the game. Somebody in the race chat mentions that there's an email address in the README that comes with the download they can send questions to. I'm sure I'm sure that's gonna work out. I'm sure this person is still keeping up on their game.
Yes, I work in banking where I just get to see a lot of emails, and it turns out a lot of people are still using their AOL and their Hotmail and emails that I thought died 20 years ago. You'll get a Yahoo once in a while, and you're like, come on, guys. Go
well,
get
the
a
thing
Gmail.
about
Hey,
Hotmail is at least it has, like, it just now is just a normal Microsoft account, but it's called Hotmail, so at least that's getting updated. The AOL ones are just still AOL. I know several people that still use an AOL email. It's not good.
I feel called out here. Because I still use Hotmail.
Hotmail doesn't belong between AOL and whatever else I just mentioned. It is a legitimate email, but Yeah, vintage. It's a vintage email. There you go.
Oh, alright, we should be good to go.
I think our racers are good to go. It's the other fools are the
Right.
ones that might be holding us up here.
And we've got this wonderful Twitch thing. The game is Action Fist.
GFM, have you seen this game?
Never.
Cool. Me neither. ID. We need to prevent him from talking too much so he can recover. But
It's
you are
well, no,
remote.
it's fine. It's a 2D side scroller where you shoot things. I pinned the paste pin, but
you also fist things.
no, you don't actually.
Oh.
It's just called that.
The title lies?
Yeah,
does.
from this title screen, I expect 3 things: 2 guys with guns, some action, and some fist. And if we're not gonna fist, I guess the closest thing is we're going to use the when we've hit start, we're gonna punch the start button, because that's a fist cursor.
What?
We're going between start options and quit. The it's not even like a pointer; it's a fist is what we're gonna be clicking.
No, sorry. I was saying. I'm trying to make a prediction. It said error creating prediction. I don't know how to troubleshoot that.
It looks fine. I'm rich. What? And somebody just put 130k onto Jakazam.
Okay.
Nobody. I'm gonna break this. Everybody just put 10 on Adresadini. Don't ruin the odds. You're ruining the odds. Just give us that 496. I believe in it. I always love it when you look at these predictions and you open them and you see that 7 people have voted for Adresadini, and they're 96-4 in the predictions because everybody who's voting for Adresadini is just putting in like 10. Min betting. Race is actually starting. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and they're wrong. There's a difficulty option. We're playing on normal. Oh no, we're playing freaking John Wick.
Yeah.
I was gonna to call this Metal Slug from the character select.
Did they pick different characters? Oh my gosh.
Yes,
pretty sure they play the
I
same.
don't. Yeah, I think they are identical.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is red race car, yellow race car. And I think Jakazam, again, has chosen the correct color.
So, the important thing is that you have 2 weapons in the bottom left. You can get, like, modifiers for them on the... But the left things that are just those colored cubes, that tells you what color weapon you're using, and you can switch between 2, but there are 3 different colors of enemies. There's yellow, red, and I think green?
I saw you.
Yellow, red, and green, yeah. So, you're strong against enemies that are the same color as your shot. So you want to be killing red enemies with red weapons and yellow enemies with yellow weapons. But enemies, it's not that big of a deal. Bosses, it's going to be a big deal.
Fire with fire. Got it.
Oh, when those other things are modifier, like Jakazam has double shot, while Adresadini has something with that triangle.
Yes, and I think if you die, you lose your power-ups. You keep the same colors, but the sort of like shot modifier that you get, you lose. Oh, we're still doing Rainwave. Let me get some audio here.
Oh, it looks like we have a checkpoint though. That doesn't look like what I remember as the start of the level. Maybe it is though. No, we didn't get tutorialized. Adresadini is still on World 1 after dying, but I think that was a checkpoint halfway through the level. And Jakazam's having fun, because you get the triple blast, the best gun in any game, until you get the rocket launcher.
I don't know if it's great on this, because it's so wide. Like, it's a little too wide. but it's kind of like
At least doing
balloons.
the thing that you want a triple blast to do, which is shooting right in front of you with at least one of the bullets.
Yeah, that is good.
Yeah, but the downward shot is it's hitting the ground, so that's not really useful.
Yeah. GFM, just a note. Somebody noted in chat they had FPS issues, so congrats, as you get to check that these two are at the same FPS at some point. It looks fine
Oh
now.
no.
I think, yeah, this looks the same to me.
Yep, it looks like it's going healthy, but it does scare me.
It always is when we play older freeware. But that's honestly, like, the best kind of redraw. If you can catch it early and just say, oh, okay, it's not running right, let's just redraw it. You know, worse things have happened.
But looking from the particles, everything looks really smooth, so this should be fine.
Yeah.
I agree. Both players just not getting into the rhythm just yet. We've seen deaths on both sides, and I don't know how many of these enemies that you need to fight, but I think Jakazam can just go up there, right?
You can
Oh,
go jump
find the box.
indefinitely, it seems.
Oh, they follow you, or at least try to follow you. So there is a bit more incentive to kill the enemies, because otherwise you're gonna just have a trail of baddies behind you.
Which I mean, it can be okay. Like from here, I don't see the enemies being able to follow you after that bit. But yeah, it can be an issue for sure.
Or Jakazam just straight into the pit. Oh, but it spawns Jakazam right at the same pit. So, congratulations, you lost 5 seconds instead of minutes like I was afraid of.
I mean, she cleared enemies that were behind her, so it was really useful.
One of these things when you get, especially like these older freeware games, is just how the game treats your character in the middle of the screen. I don't want, when I'm playing a game like this, to be at the front of the screen, and it looks like the game is kind of just mixing about, what is this enemy? Is he trying to moped us to death?
I think this is the boss. We do see a boss health bar. And the red shots against the red boss were looking good.
Yeah, I'm very curious what what this
It
guy
sounds
is up
sort of
to.
I'll go
Vespa.
with yes.
So the... Oh, and Jakazam was on 1 health. So, nice clutch finish there. The little blue cross pickups are health, but you do have to press down to pick them up, so if you're not careful, you walk right past them.
We get more lore, which at least the first time was very funny.
Got him.
Oh, it's a poem.
It did seem like that, but then it kind of wasn't. So which colors you want to have for the boss? It's a little ambiguous, but the level kind of generally will only feature 2 colors of enemies, and so when you get to a level, you'll learn. Jakazam is just not even doing anything. Okay, he's back.
Jakazam might have been like, we only have like 1 health. Might have been trying to die or something, but the game might be too easy and just not actually trying to target us to allow that. And
Oh no,
now just playing
down to 0 health. Zero health counts. I forgot about that. That's a thing in this game. Isn't that weird? I couldn't think of any other game where 0 health counts.
Yeah, I mean, we saw like P1 being the last health with our last race, and that's kind of like, I'm gonna say like 60-40. The no health bar, like not even a sliver, is interesting though. I think Jakazam, like, this looks like the sort of level you can clutch out, or like at least get a decent checkpoint in before you die.
Yeah, assuming
Okay.
that this whole thing isn't all one checkpoint. There, some health, good.
Some health, yeah. I think this might be able to just be done in one shot, and the instinct that I would have had would have been to just try and die immediately, given how little health we had, but Jakazam's health positive now, 3.
I am worried about Adresadini because he does have the yellow power, but he's not using it against these enemies, and he is staying back to fight those enemies even. Do you need that platform for the wall jump?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to
so
stand
that's
in
why.
front of these little computer terminals to like move switches and move walls around.
1 health left for Adresadini. And that guy is just absolutely so rude to just jetpack on our face, giving us no option. Friendly checkpoints, though. I think when you have checkpoints that have been this friendly, the instinct is just go faster, just reach the next checkpoint.
Concrete artery
interesting
zone,
to
Act
see.
1. So are we back to the very beginning for Jakazam? Probably not. I don't remember that wall being the very first thing that came up.
Yeah,
But
because the
from
wall was the
this
very first thing that
enemy-
Jakazam would have ran into it. Because Jakazam did nothing for the first 20 seconds.
Yeah, but like these enemies were the first ones to appear, so she did go a lot back.
Oh yeah.
I also wouldn't be surprised if like that very quiet start that happened for Jakazam is like has music that ramps up towards feeling like it's good. There could actually be good gameplay that we're missing if the music's nice. Or is this the in-game music, guys?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, it's very cool. It's just doing its thing.
Yeah, we have Adresadini's music.
Yeah, it doesn't inspire me at all. Adresadini, hit the button, please. You've done this before. Okay, this is just greedy.
Yeah, I think just doesn't understand these computer terminals.
Is it just stand next to it, or is there?
Yeah, you can just stand there. You don't have to walk past it.
I mean, I don't have much history in Mystery Tournament, but trying. Oh wow, okay.
There
Or
we go. Just barely making it.
just go Ultra Instinct on your wall runs. That's fine too. Meanwhile, Jakazam's level has gotten so much noisier. We're using red against yellow, so they're not dying quickly either.
Yeah, you can literally type anything in tags on Twitch now. It's just whatever you decide to put there. Jakazam down to 1 health is no good. Oh, here we go. Back up to 3. Which is really 4. Boss time. Needs green, has green. Looking good.
Anytime that you see 2 health packs in a row, congratulations, you're about to fight the boss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think
This boss
is
is,
doing pretty good here, health-wise.
yeah, at least using the correct gun and understanding that mechanic, this boss is flimsy.
Meanwhile, Adresadini is fighting the red boss with the yellow weapon.
That's good. I'm
Which
pretty
not-
sure the boss has a checkpoint. Yeah. I think all bosses have checkpoints. Dominguez? I don't know if that's a real name. Domingo, yes. Dominguez, I'm not so sure.
It looks like a Latin or Italian name, maybe?
Yeah, I guess ending in US is very Latin, but Dominguez is a pretty strong name. I mean,
Okay, so if you're trying to figure out how long the goal is gonna be blind, Scorched Earth sounds like it's a volcano level. We've done a regular level, but like it's a regular gritty level, so it's a warehouse. We done a cave. I feel like we've got maybe one more level, and then we'll get tossed into a volcano.
I want to say this was around 30 minutes for me. I didn't time all of these. But this has been raced before. Scorched Earth Zone 2, 27 minutes for Pika Pals, 31 for Triscore. So it probably wasn't below Triscore's time, but I don't think it was a whole lot higher.
Yeah. I've been asking ChatGPT to make video games for me recently. And I just asked for like world building and to order them by difficulty. And while it will make up some like cool levels where it'd be like space or rainbow when it gets into like level 8, it will always put plains as the first level. Or maybe a forest. It did want to give me a vine mechanic when I asked for a puzzle mechanic in level 1.
What are the qualifications for a game to make it to top 8? We want it to be usually unique enough that it's not going to get redrawn because we have a schedule to keep on Games Done Quick because it's literally on their channel. And then also we want it to be extra good, extra fair, and a fun watch.
Sorry, are those one hit KO lasers? Continue, then later
I don't think
answer
so.
that.
Jakazam was low on health. One thing I wanted to point out, though, is that the last boss was green. And so, if it were me, I wouldn't want to still have green. And there's a lot of yellow enemies in this stage.
Yeah, to continue on that thought. So for example, Quartz, you're not going to see like a Mega Man game in top 8, but you might see like a Mega Man inspired clone that's high quality, that matches the original Mega Man.
Usually lately it's been mostly freeware games in top 8 and not very many retro games because the pool is kind of picked over, and then also like they just tend to be more unique. Baba Eats You was in top 8 back when it was just a demo. That's how Hempuli is involved.
Less retro games, but more retro inspired games.
Yeah.
I mean, not always because of Pumpkin Dog, but kinda, yeah. And I don't mean you with that. I liked that race. It was fun.
It's true. Sometimes a game is in there because it's like unique or kind of weird, and then also especially because a lot of the rounds in top 8 are best of 3, and the final one is actually best of 5. So that lets you put some stuff that's kind of weird that you might necessarily not want to stand on its own, but is really cool, and if you're seeing it as a best of 3, it works a little bit better.
Yeah. I do also feel like top 8 is a good ground for late game only rounds, which can also be in like
some games that are just really hard that we know that players who are in top 8 are going to be able to handle it.
Like some like Sightline comes to mind, which has been mentioned recently, where Sightline's a game where anybody who comes in goes, "Oh no, what is this?" But then you give it to someone and Adam, and they just make it look like it's an actual game that's playable.
There actually is, I forgot, I just remembered, and so I don't know if we'll hear it, but there is a checkpoint indicator. It's like a sound. So you know when you've gotten a checkpoint. That's why Jakazam did a forced death there. The game makes some noise.
I know personally this is the sort of genre where I don't actually mind like run and shoot. I'm gonna call it Contra style, where you're able to shoot up sort of stuff. But I will never win this sort of race if handed this sort of game. It is just a lot of noise on Jakazam's screen right now, and
it's true.
I
have a difficult time playing games like this on keyboard. For me, any run and gun 2D game, I have to find a controller to do well.
Oh, I need to get joy-to-key going.
This is unfortunate. Jakazam does not have yellow.
And as we've mentioned, this is Mega Man rules, but like it's actually laid out for you and not arcane garbage, where you want to have the same color. We're not doing any damage.
Well, you don't. So you expose the feet by shooting the head, and then the feet are what is the health bar. So the spread was actually doing okay.
Adresadini reached the boss and did not have green, and for as easy as Jakazam made it look, I think a large part of that was the boss color. Should still be fine if put a bit of skill, like dodging these missiles is not free in any sense, but now that we know that they're coming, it looks like Adresadini is able to do it.
Yeah, and I think Jakazam has the pattern down now. So it doesn't have spread, so it can't just like pile on the damage by hitting with all three. At the very
Point for
beginning.
Adresadini. With the missile red launcher thing gun that Adresadini is using, it takes about 5 cycles, and we have 6 hit points. So it should be possible with clean gameplay, but these dodges vary from very easy to very difficult depending on the missile locations. Yeah, this looks like they're gonna get it this time. They're halfway through the boss and haven't been hit yet. On Jakazam's side, we are on the invisible hit point and half a boss left. Come on.
Yeah, the other day I thought of an idea where life 2 was actually your last life that you could play on, because once you got to 1, your character would leave because like they don't want to risk that. And then I went to see the new Puss in Boots movie, and it has like the exact, that's the plot. So they stole my idea that I never told anyone and had in my head.
Which is the worst sort of crime, because it took a lot of effort on their part to...
Yeah, I can't even get paid.
Yeah. Can't get paid. Like, clearly, if they're stealing your mind thoughts, that's like, they've been listening to your Amazon. Listening to your Google. They a lot of effort.
What is
to be
up
able to...
with Adresadini's game?
The frames, it looks jumpy.
I'm gonna refresh the stream.
Ugh.
I don't know if that's OBS or if it's doing that.
I'm opening it up. Yeah, it looks similar, but it could be OBS.
Okay. Could you ask, he's just gotta shoot the screw. Could you ask Adresadini in the chat maybe if their game is running well? Like, if it's all jumpy like it looks on screen. I guess we can retime the time that it takes for them to answer that question. I just want to make sure they're not struggling like this.
While you guys do that, it feels really bad that Jakazam just doesn't have yellow going into this boss. Because when we respawn, I don't think, at least without backtracking, there's an option to change over to the correct color.
I don't know if you can go back.
Even if you can, like, backtracking doesn't sound like a fun thing to do when you're in a race. Especially when Jakazam's like kind of been close to being able to finish this. This looks like another attempt where it's going to be down to the last shot. Because we're getting locked in the middle here.
So it looks like that was just the stream. It's now running fine. Yeah, well, I mean, the way I interpreted it when I played this was just that if I fought a boss and they were a color, I definitely didn't want to have that same color going into the next boss. I wanted to have the other two. Because I didn't think they would just do two the same color in a row.
We died to some weird hitbox there on Jakazam. I think it might have been like the smoke comes out from the feet. I don't think it was a fireball or anything.
Yeah, it threw a bomb. It must only get that at the very final stages. But I think Jakazam has it this time. Yeah, this game is, at some point someone in the chat said earlier, this game seemed fairly easy, and it is. It's not too difficult. The final boss of this goal I remember being kind of challenging.
Other than the color that neither of the players had for their respective bosses, you also lose every power-up, and I didn't see any place where Jack could get power-ups for her. So that's also another issue here, because you could be dealing more damage with the weaker shot if you just go with a power-up and do it first try.
Top 8 in MT4. Yeah, this is a throwback right here.
The secret is just never die. So we could see someone like Maurice, who does happen to be in this race, get a dot done well before our finishers if he's just refusing to ever lose his power-ups.
No, MT4 wasn't in 2007. We used to do 2 MTs a year. The first MT was in 2012.
1996, you said?
2012 was the first MT.
I like to think that it's...
We just had the
older.
10th anniversary in December.
Nah. MT's been around forever, man. Ever since they invented the SNES.
Oh man, Jakazam on the 0 lives. This is gonna be really tight.
Okay, the bomb has the blue thing, which I think is what caught us last time.
Yes! Okay. Yeah, no hitbox there, that's good. Moving on.
if the boss robot hitbox did us in, I would be so mad for Jakazam. Ooh, we got plot. 1982. That's the first year that MT happened.
Yeah, it is. 1923. They played Crokinole and and croquet.
You've just described, by the way, my 4th of July. Our rules for croquet are that you can only play with one hand, because your other hand, or sorry, you always have to have a drink in one of your hands.
Got it.
So then some people cheated and then just played two-handed croquet while also holding a drink.
I believe this is... I missed it. Is this Scorched Earth 1 that Jakazam is on now?
It looks like it. I'm gonna say that you're the person who should know.
Yeah, I just don't remember. But this does remind me of, like... I remember the final boss.
There's fire. The earth does indeed look scorched.
Yeah, this is Scorched Earth 1. So, Jakazam's got a level to finish, and then has to fight the boss of Scorched Earth 2, and then that's going to be the end of this goal.
These guys look like they should be red, but they're yellow.
I think it's because it looks like everything has a tint to it. That was an actual enemy room that you had to kill the enemies in. But see, so Jakazam knows that they just fought a yellow boss, so probably isn't going to grab yellow.
I mean, if she picked up that, because I don't think I would have noticed it.
Were we on last hit point? Or is fire just really mean? Because if we're on last hit point, I'm surprised that Jakazam... because we were out of the boss. Like, we went to last hit point against the boss itself. I'm surprised that Jakazam didn't death abuse sooner. Okay, good opportunity for a comeback here from Adresadini if they run into this boss fight with yellow.
Oh yeah, this boss is interesting. You've got to destroy it with these missile launchers. Firing them into the background.
While not getting hit by background. So this is an MT4 game?
I think it's been played since then, but yeah, it was a long time ago.
I'm still annoyed that there's no actual punching in a game called Action Fist.
I know, it is kind of weird.
Should be called the Color Shooty game, but not Mega Man 1, just to make sure that we understand that there isn't a sequel.
It is indeed Moni.
So Jakazam just falls to the ground, but I feel like the fall was slowed down because we're also being shot, and there was like some momentum, which is just very insulting. Is this an auto-scroller when you're forced to run? You have to hold right, because if you don't hold right, you'll die immediately. It's definitely to be scrolling. I'm just not sure.
But-
Race finishes in 25-17. Says the game sucks. I thought it was all right.
Oh, this is awful here on Jack's screen. You need to use the enemy's bullets to destroy the boxes to go to the next level.
This is considered the Scorched Earth 2, by the way. This is Jakazam. Well, Maurice's finish is gonna be finishing here sooner rather than later. Meanwhile, Adresadini has 2 red guns, which is bad.
I mean, not to commentate or curse Adresadini, but he does have a power up as well.
Okay,
Well,
bye.
he had a power up.
If you're gonna say not to commentate curse when they're on 0 hit points, the bard doesn't even have a thing on it, you're asking for trouble.
I didn't look at their hit points.
Yeah, beyond the necessary, just finish this boss quickly so you have a chance to catch up. And that's gonna be pretty tough without having the red, or without having the yellow guns. Also needs Jakazam to get stuck, and this is a very funny way for Jakazam to get stuck, but not what I was thinking. I think we're gonna have a boss in the future. The Might Wall. Instead, we're playing.
Yeah, made it.
Brilliant stuff there from Jakazam.
Okay, so the last one was yellow, and the one before was the green one in the auto scroller, correct? In the auto running. So this
Yeah, and
is
then the
red,
first-
and this.
The first boss was red. The guy in the motorcycle.
But we fought the green
Oh.
guy in the runner,
Some hidden stuff in
Yeah.
the wall there.
the auto scrolly section. Jakazam correctly surmising that this level's about to explode and you need to get out of there. Good stuff. Come on, what color is it?
Green.
Boo.
Either
Well,
green
I'm
or
gonna
yellow.
say that this shotgun approach is not a terrible idea to walk into any boss with, because just
Yeah,
bosses are
making
bigger,
good
but
progress. It would be good not to die on this very first. Oh,
Is that
There we
done?
go.
Actually, that might be the race.
I believe that's the race. Yep.
That guy died so quickly compared to long leg yellow guy, just because the damage actually does damage. 3105 or 3107 if you're looking at stream. Either way, Maurice says awful, 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 awful. I'd like to hear Jakazam's opinion. I'd also love to see Adresadini beat this boss. This boss being probably the biggest wall of the game, at least for Jakazam, and doing it with a red gun would be pretty baller. And a mediocre red gun at that. This thing looks like a pea shooter. We might not get Jakazam for interview because we're just gonna get more gameplay, which I'm fine with.
Maybe.
We have more races coming up, but we have progressed onto the swampy level, which, as far as Jet GP is concerned, is a 4th or 5th level of a 8 world sort of biome.
One thing that I'm wondering now is that for Jakazam, the triple shot worked really well for that boss because the boss was really big and his whole body looked like its hitbox. But in this boss, that only that small part on the top of the body and the feet are the hitboxes. I don't think it would work here.
Well, we can ask somebody who raced the game. Welcome, Jakazam.
Hello. This game was really fun.
Cool. That's a
Why
opinion
I'm
I
so
value a
dumb.
lot more than Maurice's awful times 5.
Yeah, I enjoyed the game quite a bit.
We were wondering about. We were looking at Adresadini fighting the. I'm gonna say it might be the 3rd boss, but the big yellow guy in River Cave Zone.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah, and basically once you die once, you just don't have the power up. Do you think that like having the gun that has the triple spread would have been helpful in that boss, or did it feel like it just had only one hitbox, the big one?
It felt like the triple spread was useful on that boss because it seemed like the sideways projectiles were like bouncing off of the legs of the boss and going up and hitting it in the head, so it was going down a bit faster.
Yeah.
But I don't know, that boss is really mostly just about learning the patterns, I feel like, and then you're pretty good. It has some weird hitboxes though, like the feet on that boss you just bounce off of, but if you crash into the turrets on like the kneecaps, then you take damage. So it feels like you should be able to jump over the feet, but I was never able to do it without taking damage from the turret.
Yeah, and you're moving along in this like swampy level. Giving us,
Yeah, I see why this definitely wasn't in the goal because it's mostly auto-scroller. I know
Yeah.
that's...
It's a good
Found it
length. We're seeing a few times come in, and they all seem to be healthy MT. So this was a backup that you enjoyed, which is always good, because if we're gonna be pulling out the best ofs, they should be at least enjoyed by the racers, or at least the winner. I don't know. This game, anything that like really jumped out to you? I looked at the paste bin and went, "Yep, this is a game that exists." Until I reached the last line that has the like the good color against other good color, but otherwise it feels pretty straightforward.
Yeah, the good color against good color thing was a bit obnoxious just because you could only hold 2 colors, but there's 3. And there was no good way to get that 3rd color if you needed it. So, like, I ran into that yellow boss that you said Adresadini's on, and I was like, well, I have red and green, so I guess I'm not doing weakness damage.
Adresadini actually just clutched it out. They're moving on to Scorched Earth, so we'll have some more good gameplay here. Yeah, on the final boss of the race, you had the triple shot, and I was worried that like that was a spot that you could get walled because it just wasn't the right color. But it turns out triple shot might be good against big hitboxes.
Yeah, triple shot did a lot of work in that fight. That would have been bad if I died there.
Let's go check.
The boss of Scorched Earth 1 was a really cool fight. It was that one, like the background boss.
Oh yeah. We'll probably see it again here for Adresadini here shortly. You really like the actual mechanic of just pressing the button is pretty pretty straightforward, but the way it looked was fantastic.
Yeah, it was just a really cool look on that boss. And I liked the idea of them doing something different with the boss. Like, hey, you've been showing all the other ones. This one you need to dodge and then do some, just kind of... It was a lot of dodging and then hit the buttons in the right spot, but it just was a cool boss overall.
Okay, looking at the bracket, you're gonna be playing against Crankdud next here in Winners 4. Crankdud's got a couple good wins against Blurry and Jugariel, so they've already had some challenging racers. I think you'll happily be put on that list too of Crankdud just running into a lot of killers. But any thoughts there?
Hoping for not an FPS game.
Yeah, I think there's rumors that there aren't too many FPS games around because they were the ones that were in, or I'm not even sure I should be saying plural, were not even being tested. Come on, Adresadini being a little bit greedy there and getting caught by the long fire. While is this all auto scroller, Jakazam, that you're looking at?
The stage I'm on, it's auto-scroller until you hit like a group of enemies, but it's mostly auto-scroller, and then you have a couple like small fights that'll freeze up the screen.
The important question, you had a choice in character selection, and you went with Headband Guy over Scarf Guy. Do you feel like this made you go faster?
Yeah, I think so. It was an important choice.
I know you went Gold Car over Red Car, and we all know that Red Car is generally faster than any other option of car when you played the racing game, so I was a bit concerned that you'd made the wrong choice again, but I mean, you won the race, so results matter.
I was a bit worried why I chose the character, and then I saw, I think it was before the 3rd level, the lore had something about the first character knew where the madman was or something. I was like, oh no, is this going to be like a split in the levels and I'm going to have to redo the whole race? We're going to have to redraw. But thankfully, that was not the case.
You're the one person in stream who didn't see the lore that we saw for Adresadini. Was some John Wick lore where the baddies stole their scarf and their girlfriend and their dog, and
yeah,
the character
had
goes,
the same lore.
oh,
about the scarf.
Was it still Scarf?
Yeah, it was still Scarf.
Nah, you've clearly chosen like the main character's friend then,
Yeah,
because you don't have a scarf unless it's a scarf on top of your
I
head.
just wrapped a scarf around my head.
Is it still a scarf at that point, or is it a headband? When is a scarf not a scarf?
I don't know. It might have to do with like the width of it or something. Like,
Oh goodness, these Adresadini is getting to the point where all the boxes start exploding, and the mean green gun is just trying to ruin your fun. This level feels stressful. Did you feel like the pressure of the race, or did you just game until you ended up winning?
yeah, there wasn't too much pressure with the race because I couldn't see the IRC. I still can't see it now because the game's in full screen. So that helped with not getting distracted, not seeing other dot-duns, not seeing missions in the IRC. I was like, oh, I'll just focus on the game, and then if I play well enough, then I'll at least know that I did my best.
Way to approach it. Anything you guys got, GFM ID?
No, sorry, I was working out. We've got a triple coming up in very soon, and we can't do that on stream. So we've got to figure out.
Real secret: when you notice that you're in a triple race, be the first one to give game. Guaranteeing that you're a part of it. But too many exclamation marks.
And then I think
Jakazam.
Maurice will be coming in and taking over this stream. Hijacking it.
You,
But not
Maurice.
really,
Oh.
because I asked if he would do it.
Well, Jakazam, GG's on the win. Winners for, I think you might be one of the first people there too. I know you were playing Cranked Up, but
Well,
welcome.
happens out my match against Cranked Up, that whoever wins that will be the first in Winners 5.
Yeah, just if you can speed run the tournament, you can speed run any game, right? That's how it works.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna step out now, but thanks for the race. It was fun. See you next time.
Goodbye.
With that, I think my shift's done. I gotta eat a muffin. So, good luck to Maurice and whoever else is doing commentary. And GG's. That was a good backup, which is nice. I like good backups.
Good luck. Not according to Maurice. Maurice hated it. Jakazam liked it.
The game
Yeah.
sucked. There were so many things wrong with this game, but maybe this is not the time. So, ID, what's the plan?
All right.
Oh wait, switch back. I loaded the other match already. I wasn't thinking.
Well, you'll take over at some point, but as far as this triple, there's a few different things we could do. Obviously, we can't put them all on screen. We could have just still everybody playing the same game, but we probably need 2 mods because I don't feel like I can watch 6 streams at once.
Yeah, that's fair, and I could help with watching the third one. But I don't know, because then the hey stream, it's kind of, I don't know how it is to watch a hey stream of a match that you've already seen the game. Like if it were a podcast.
Oh, yeah. Well, I guess that's fair. Well, okay. Let's give it a little let's give it a little 3, 2, 1, and then I will stop. All right, Maurice, are you ready?
I'm so ready.
All right. I'm stopping.